goes out to all the survivors of the apocalypse. This is your Resident Evil research team at Raccoon City. We have discovered how to make a T-virus prop. And here it is. This is my T-virus vial prop that I made, and I'm going to tell you how to make it. Okay, now we have 3 different viruses. I have a green one, a red one, and a blue one. And it's really easy to make this, and I made a display to go with it. Here's how it works. I'm going to take these out real quick here so you can see what I'm doing here and see all the steps of that. All right, now there's a couple ways you can make this. In the movies, they look like they're machine tool tops on them with possibly a hand-blown glass virus and the possibly a glass tube. You can make these fairly easily without all that trouble for a couple different ways you can do it. You could either use clear plastic PVC with end caps that you will paint silver or put duct tape on it, like I did. Or you could use my process, which is really affordable. I used Voss water bottles, took the labels off of them. And what I did is I put silver duct tape on both ends of the bottle because the bottle shape is really like a straight column on these water bottle shapes that I used. And so I basically just put duct tape on both sides, silver duct tape. I ran my fingernail along the edge twice, up and down here, and then twice up and down here around the whole thing, so it has like a beveled look like it does in the movie. And then I put black marker pen all the way around in that trough that I made with my fingernail by just running my fingernail across it, so it gives it depth. I printed out a Umbrella Corporation logo for the top, shrunk it down to the size to fit the bottle. For the virus itself, what these are flexible plumbing tubes, clear flexible PVC plumbing tubes, or plastic or rubber, whatever they're made. I don't think they're rubber, but I think they're like either plastic or PVC. I'm not really sure what they're made out of, but they're really tiny tubes that are used for like in connecting sinks and stuff, I guess is what they use them for. I'm not really sure. But you can get them at the hardware stores. The tubing runs like for a 50, I think it's like 50 feet or whatever, is like $7. So you can make at least a couple of these out of these things. So what I did is I cut the tubing to length to fit to the top and the bottom. You don't even have to glue it in unless you want to, because if you cut it to the right size, it'll just stand in there by itself. You don't even have to glue it in, but that's up to you. And then I put colored pipe cleaners in each one, cut those to size. You could get the pipe cleaners at craft stores, different places that sell craft supplies usually have them. They're usually fairly affordable. They're like a bag of 100 or whatever for like a couple bucks, So again, you can make several of these things. In order to get the woven DNA strand look that it has in the movie, I tied them together with some like a hemp cord or whatever you have that you can use. Doesn't have to be hemp, but you can use whatever you want. You have to tie it together in the middle and then tie it together going this way so it creates a separation, and then I put a little bit of glue just to reinforce it. And again, it looks, so it gives it that woven appearance like in the thing. My bottles are a little bit scrungy looking because of the fact that they're really hard to get the glue off the bottles. You can get the labels off fairly easily, but the glue that they use for the labels is really hard to get off. But that's okay because it looks run down. I want it to look like post-apocalyptic, not pre-apocalyptic virus bottles. So that's what I did with that. And I have the green one here, and I have the red one. red virus here, and I have the blue virus. And in the movies, as they progress, you get different color viruses bottles. And for the display, what I did is I got a small thing of wood, and I printed out a bigger Umbrella Corporation logo. And I first drilled the wood with a hole drill, just slightly bigger than the bottles are. And for the back, I put I drilled at an angle into the wood. And it's about 4 inches from the bottom, from right here. It's about 4 inches, and I put a dowel rod in, glued that in place. You know, and that actually will create a effect where, because the bottles are, it's a some kind of scientific thing, that because the bottles are over their balance point, these are not actually held in place with anything. You could just pop these in and they will stay in place because they're actually over their balance point, I guess, is how some kind of scientific thing. But you know, with science, you know, I love science, but I don't, you know, so you can actually display this without having to glue these in place, just like that, you know, and they're not being held in place by anything. So it's just basically gravity that's holding them in place, you know, and that's how you make it. Fairly simple. The whole project cost me like maybe, the wood was the most expensive thing that I had to buy. And I also lined the edge of the board with silver duct tape too, so it gives it like a kind of a scientific instrument panel look, I guess you would call it. And here's what it looks like from head on, from front view, and from the side view. Turn these so you can see them a little bit better. And then you can see it like that, and from a top view, looking down. Really easy, and you could display them on a desk. You could put them on a shelf. Put them on your favorite scientific table. You know, great decoration for Halloween, or for if you just like the movies like I do. And you don't have to spend a fortune on making hand-blown glass bottles with machine-tooled caps, unless you really, really want to do that, which you could, but I don't have that kind of budget, so it's like, and I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for further videos.